Hello and welcome back everyone to the next episode on SAP UI5 and Fiori training. In the last session we talked about how to set up our development tool, both the VS Code and the Bash tool. In our today's session we are going to start developing our HTML5 applications. And what is HTML and HTML5 introduction, which is the introduction of web development. So let's start with our first topic for today. It's called client server architecture. Client server architecture. So what is client server architecture? This is how we understand how actually internet works. So usually whenever you want to connect to internet, you always use the client. A client is nothing but your browser, be it a Chrome browser, Firefox, Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge. These are basically the browsers. And whenever you connect to your browser, then you typing in a particular URL. So when you type a URL, what happens? Let's say, for example, in your browser, you will type a URL, let's say facebook.com. So what it does, it will make a call to the internet, to the Facebook server actually. So somewhere on internet, there is a computer, there is a server where your data is stored, and it will make a call to that server. So this call which is going from your browser is called a request. Yeah, it's called a request. So a request is sent to the browser, and a request has two parts, a header and a body. Now header is basically mandatory, but in a request, body is optional. Now the request is basically of many types. So there are different kinds of request. So depending on the requirement, depending on what kind of access or what kind of level of access you need, there are requests of different kinds. So there is a get request. Get request is to read data from server. Then there is a post request. Post request is to change data in server. Basically post is to create new data in the server. Then we have put request or patch request to update data in the server. And then we have the delete request to remove data from server. So these are the different kind of requests what we can make, and then the server does the processing. So when a request is received by a server, it is always received on a port. So port is nothing but it's the gateway for the server. So what happens, just like you want to enter in somebody's house, you need the door. This is the door of the server. So server has to open a port to listen to the requests which are coming. Once the request comes, the server will then process this request. So for example, you ask Facebook to log in. So a request goes to server. Facebook understand that it's a home page, and then what it does, it sends a response back. It sends a response back. So it responds to that request, and it send you a page, a HTML page, which you will see a beautiful Facebook login page on your screen. So this outcome of the server is called response. A response again have a header and the body, but in case of response, the body is also mandatory. There are different kinds of responses. Example, it can send a text as a response, it can send an image, it can send a HTML page, it can send an XML, it can send a JSON, it can send a doc file, PDF file, etc. So there are different kinds of response types what a server can respond back to the client. So this is why it's called request response architecture or client server architecture. This is how your internet works actually. This is how totally everything works on modern days, whether you access from mobile, tablet or desktop from any device. So this is called request response architecture. Now, whenever you build a Fiori app, it also follow the same process, because Fiori app is also a web application. It also follow the request response architecture, where a request goes from your Fiori app, processing happens and response come back. Any website you run, it also run in the same way, and it is mandatory to have a server to respond back to the client. And that is the reason, if you remember the last class, we use a 5 server. What was 5 server? When we were testing our HTML file which we created, yeah, we installed a plugin, we installed an extension called 5 server. What are the 5 server was doing? It was making your computer act like a server, so that it can host your HTML page, and when you request from the browser, the server can respond. So this is what the 5 server extension was actually last class, if you remember. So I go back to bash tool, I say open folder, I go to projects folder where we created our simple example in the last class. And what we did to test it, we went ahead and we right click and we say open with 5 server. So what our 5 server was doing? It was actually launching a server. You see, it was starting a server. It was opening a port 5500. Yes, that was the port number it was opening. So this is what exactly computer does for us. Wow, computer was doing this for us. So this is how exactly the processing happens, and the data gets processed in the server, in the server. So this is the typical processing, what happens and how the data gets processed in the server. Fantastic. So then of course you were able to open it, and it was opening in another tab, and you were getting the response. Yeah, so you were getting the response in the output. You were getting the response in the output. Actually, when you were clicking it, you were getting the response. So this was the HTML response which was coming out. Yeah. Now that is why we use that extension to run a server locally. So our computer was acting, or the bash system was acting like a server for us. That is what we have done. Okay, fantastic. So now let's understand the next part of the story, which is basics of HTML. So what is HTML and HTML5? So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Hypertext Markup Language. What it actually does? It is used to create static web content. Static web content. So this is why HTML was introduced, to create static web content. Yeah, static web content. So HTML, please understand, it's a markup language. It is not a programming language. Then what you write is simply what you get. It was originally introduced to create static web pages. All the browsers directly understand HTML. Yes, all the browsers, they directly understand HTML. Basically, if you run any HTML page in any browser, they all understand it directly. Directly they understand the HTML. So you don't need any compiler or interpreter or compilation or activation. You can feed the HTML to browser and it understand it directly. So who releases the versions of HTML? The All the browser vendors, all the companies offering browser are part of a consortium, a organization called W3C. W3C means World Wide Web Consortium, and this organization is responsible for releasing HTML tags, and everyone complies. Everyone, all the companies, everyone complies to that HTML tags. So what are the versions of HTML in the market? So in the market, there are different versions of HTML which were introduced. Way back in 1991 came the first version of HTML. So year version. So in 1991 came the HTML, the first version. Then came in 1993 the HTML 2.0. Then 1995 came is HTML XHTML. Then in 1997 came is HTML4, and then finally in 2014 came is HTML5. So if somebody say what is HTML5, HTML5 is just the latest version, is the latest version of HTML. Yeah, it is the latest version of HTML. HTML5 is the latest version of HTML. Wow, that is what HTML5 is all about. Fantastic. So now you understand that HTML5 is the latest version. So what is the syntax to write a HTML tag? Syntax is very simple. Yes. So what is the syntax to write an HTML tag? It is tag name space. If there are any properties, you need to give that. You give the property value, and then you give your content, and then there will be end tag. You have to end the tag. This is how easy it is to write an HTML. Yes. If you are a computer science student, you would have studied HTML during college days already, but might be forgotten. So that's why we are covering basics of HTML for you. So let's get started and create our first HTML and understand different kinds of HTML tags. So I head over back to my web basics project in the bash tool, and now I'm going to start that. So you can see an HTML consists of header and body. So an HTML page, or also known as HTML document. So what you're writing is a HTML document here. Consists of head, which is the brain of HTML, and body, which is containing the content of HTML. Body is what user see. So user will see only the body of HTML. Yes. Then we can add the metadata of the page in the header and actual HTML content tags in the body. This is the rule of how HTML is built. So you see HTML, it has a header, it has a body. Wow. Now one more thing you can notice, it's a tree data structure. HTML is a tree data structure. So you would have studied in college days data structures like stacks, queues, linked list. Yeah. Similarly, HTML is a tree data structure. What is HTML? It's a tree data structure. So HTML represent a tree data structure. This tree data is called DOM, document object model. Yeah, document object model, where all the tags are arranged in a tree data structure. It's called DOM. When you go to real-time projects in Fury, many times you will see people telling DOM is not proper, DOM is not working, DOM has an issue, DOM is corrupted, check the DOM, 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 DOM. Don't worry, it's just the tree data structure of HTML. That's called DOM. Okay, so next what we see is, you see this is a DOM. You can see it's a tree. So we start with HTML. We have a header, the brain, we have the body. So this is how you create your first HTML page. Now, obviously to test it, you can right click and open with Five server. Yeah, that's what we do. So let me dock them left and right. So on the left, I'll put my input. On the right, I'll get my output. So now I start with the header. Header is the brain. So we start with meta tag. You see, when you are typing the code, it is telling you all the available tags over there. Wow. It's going code completion for you. It is same in bash or same in VS Code also. So meta tag, and I will put the property as the name property of meta tag and put the content, the value of that meta tag. So you see some tags don't have ending tags, like meta tag don't have a ending meta tag like this. It's not needed. Yeah, it's not needed. So that's why either you write or not write, it doesn't matter. But some tags must have ending tags. We will see them in the class. So we start with the first tag, let's say meta tag, and I will put couple of properties over here. So first of all, in the meta tag, we will have the property called encoding type, that my website will be encoded in which character format. I say UTF-8. So these are the character encoding. Computer not understand English. Computer understand byte code, right? So these are encoding types to support different keyboards. So if you say UTF-8 format, then it supports all sort of keyboards on your website, like Chinese, Russian, all the keyboards it will support. Then I will say who's the author of the website, who written this website. Anubhav have written this website. Yes. What is the keyword? If somebody search on Google, what, when will this website come in the results? Yeah. So that's a keyword. Let's say somebody search HTML, somebody search UI5, somebody search HTML5, yeah, tutorials. Then my website or my web page should come in the search result. But it is not guaranteed that it will come in number one, but at least it will come in the search result, keywords. Then description, when somebody search on the search engine, if my website comes in the search result, what will be the description which will show? So say this is a sample website to learn HTML. Yeah, so that is my meta tag with metadata information. Now, Anubhav, how and where can I learn these meta tags? So you are teaching very good, Anubhav. But what if I want to learn a book? I want to refer a book to learn HTML. Or Anubhav, where did you learn HTML from? So the good news is W3C is the company which is responsible for releasing the HTML tags. So they offer a website also. It's called w3cschools.com. So you can actually go there and you can learn the HTML. So you can go to w3cschools.com. This is the official website. Go to tutorial on HTML, and there you go. You see, this is where I personally learn the HTML from. Yeah. So you all can actually go and learn from w3cschools.com. Yeah, w3cschools.com. This is where we can learn the HTML tutorials that you can do. Yes. So that's my source of learning. And here when you come down, you can see all the list of tags also. So I use meta tag, right? So I can just search meta tag. Yeah, there you go. You go there, you see example also. Wow. So char set UTF-8. We have used the wrong thing. So let me fix it. So it's char set property like this. That's my meta tag. Okay. Now let's, you see on the right side, the title is showing something port 5500 something. Yeah. So let's change the title. And I can say HTML basics. And you will see the title change to HTML basics. So this is all the header. Now we start with the body. So we start with heading tags, H1 tag. What is HTML5? Heading 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So up to heading 6 we will add. So heading 2, how it looks, heading 3, 4, 5, 6. So we will see this heading 3, 4, 5, 6. So on the left I'm writing, on the right I'm getting the output. So you see this is heading 1, 2, 3. These are heading tags. So heading like normal heading for any paragraph you want to give. Now that is how you create a heading. If you want to comment a piece of code in the VS Code or Bash tool, you can use Control plus slash to comment and uncomment code. So I can come here and I can say I want to comment, Control slash, you see it's commented, Control slash, it's commented. So only heading 4 remain, everything else got commented. So that is how you can comment and uncomment the block of code the in the VS Code or Bash tool. Whatever I'm teaching, it will work beautifully with VS Code and Bash tool both, because Bash and VS Code are just tools. They are just tools. Yeah, doesn't matter. These are just tools. Okay, so that is our HTML heading tags. Now we start with paragraph tag, paragraph P tag. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language. It is used to create static web page. Yeah, so that is your content. You see paragraph come. Now I want to highlight hypertext markup language. So I will do nesting of tags. So I will come here and put emphasize tag, em tag. Yeah, it's called em tag, emphasize. And I will lock my hypertext markup language under em. So you see it's tilted. I put also a bold tag, B tag it's called as. Yeah, bold tag, B. Let's start a B tag. This is called tag nesting. So we are nesting the tags also. You see it's turning bold now. So we are nesting one tag inside another. Please make sure that it should be well formed. Like it should be last in first out. So last was bold tag. So that is last in first out. That's your bold tag which we have added over here. Nice. That is how we can create the bold tag in the system. Very good. So I request you to kindly mute your line. If you not have questions, please mute your line. Those who have just joined the call, please mute your line. Okay. So now we have got paragraph tag, and you can see we have got hypertext markup language. Now next tag in the list is called anchor tag. Anchor tag is to create a clickable link. So I say click me. Yeah. So when I just get this, you see a link has come. But oops, when I click nothing happens. Anubhav, I put an anchor tag, Anubhav, but when I click nothing happen, Anubhav, what to do? So my friends, as you all know, there is nothing like magic. You know, I know this link, but computer don't know. Computer don't know where to take you. When user click the link, where to take user, that computer don't know. So we have to come back and put href, https, let's say anubhavtrainings.com. So I put a property this time called href property, http reference, which will take me to the website. So when I click now, there you go, it's taking me to my official website. So that's an anchor tag. We created a anchor tag. Yeah. Now let's put an image tag, img tag, with the source src. You can now give the source as a image or from the Google. Yeah, you can get an image from the internet, or you can directly upload an image in your computer. So I will come back and create a folder under the web basics called images. And in this, I will upload images from my computer. So I will upload. So I'll upload images from my computer. So I go to my computer, I go to pictures, and I will upload this SAP building. I will upload this, this books image, lotus image, 3 images I will upload. So you see I'm uploading 3 images and they will come over here. There you go. Good news is I will be sharing everything with you as part of our study material, this project. So everything will come to you in your system accordingly. Yeah. Okay. So now I will just give the address of this image, images folder / I'll say sap.png. So an image will come over there. for SAP building. You see it's very big. The Gerd Oswald Innovation Center in Bangalore. Those who are working in Bangalore, this is the ITPL office of SAP Labs. Yeah. So maybe I will just reduce the width and height of the image so you can see it better. Width is, let's say, 200 pixels, and height is also 200 pixels. So then you can see the image. But the problem is the image and the link is coming in the same line. I want image to be in the new line. So I can use the line break tag, PR tag, to move the content in a new line always. You see, it moves into in a new line. Wow, fabulous, fabulous. Now I want this image to be clickable. Yeah, just like the link. So we can wrap this image under an anchor tag. So what you can do is we can do nesting of tag with href, and I say anubhavtrainings.com, and I will wrap this image under the anchor tag. So we do nesting of tags like this. And now when you go back and when you hover the mouse and click, it will take you to my website. So that's how we make clickable images on the web pages. Clickable images on the web pages. That's what they do. Usually you see on Facebook, click this image, you will get a good luck today. Yeah, on Facebook you get that. You don't ignore this image. Don't forget to click this image. Click here, you will get a bonus. Yeah, what they do, this is just marketing. Just marketing. You click, it will take you to some marketing website where they're selling some products. Yeah, so that is how they make the clickable image on the internet. Yeah, this is anchor wrapped with the image. The next tag in the list is called list tag itself. There are two types of list. Unordered list called UL tag, and we'll add list item li. Let's add list item, let's say apple, list item banana, list item cherry. So that's a list tag, unordered list tag. You see, it's called unordered list tag. Then we have similarly ordered list tag, OL, ordered list item ABAP on HANA, list item. I will put SAP UI5. Then I will put list item Analytics Cloud. I'll put list item SAP BTP. So you can see it has got a ordered list this time. Ordered list this time. Okay, there's an exercise for all of you which you have to try at home. Make a unordered list on HTML page with list items as ABAP on HANA, SAP Fiori, SAP BTP, SAP Analytics Cloud. Each item, when I click, it should open a YouTube video on that topic from below channel. So what you need to do, you need to go to my channel and pick up any video on that particular topic. Yeah, pick up any video on that particular topic from my channel. Yeah, so there are a lot of videos here, you see. So pick up the respective demo video or topic, and then when you click that unordered list, it should open that particular content. It should open that particular content. So that you have to do in an unordered list. So this is an exercise. You don't have to submit exercise. I will show the solution of this exercise in the next class. So when I show you the solution in the next class, you can compare your solution with my solution. You don't have to submit anywhere. Yeah, just give it a try. So that is unordered and ordered list in the system. The next tag is called input tag. Input tag is a very powerful tag. It's used to create input fields on the screen. So let me create an input tag, and there you get this input field. We just put it little up over there. So that is where you get this input tag. There you go, you see. Yeah. Now I will create a label also, label, and let's put label as username, and then put another label, password, another input. So label input we are putting, but they are not aligned. So what I do, I put a BR tag and put a BR again. So now you see I've got my label input, yeah, username and password field. Very good. But you see there are two input fields. So you know, I know which input field is for what, but computer perhaps may not know. So in HTML it is possible. So let me just write some more rules on HTML, some more bullet points over there. So every HTML element can have a unique ID property which makes that element unique on entire page, which means ID will never repeat. In addition, we can provide name property which semantically identify the element, means the purpose of that field, for example. Yeah, so we can give ID and name property. So let me give you ID here, ID user name, something like this. I can give my own ID name, let's say what can we go, username. Yeah, I can give like this. So you can say anything, you can say Spider-Man. Yeah, doesn't matter. So I give that. Then I will also go back and put here ID, password, and I can say field name is also PWD, something like that you can give. Okay, so this way uniquely identify the HTML element on the page. Yeah, that's ID property. It's not mandatory, but it's a good practice to give an ID. It's a very good practice. So I can now type username, I can type password. Ooh, my password is visible to everybody. That's very bad. Ideally should not be, right? So what we do is we can come back over here and we can say the type of the property as password. And now let's try. I say Anubhav and my password. Again it's visible. How come? It did not refresh, I guess. Yeah. So we specify the type as password. Ideally it should have turned into password field. Let me refresh. Yes, you see it was not refreshing actually. So now you see password is not visible to everyone. Very nice. So this is the type property. Now Anubhav, do we have other types of elements also? Yes, we have. So let me show you a bit of more different types. So I put type, I say color, then I put type, let's say date, then I put type, number with minimum number, let's say 10, and maximum number, let's say 15. Then I will put input, type, and I can put here, let's say email. So these are variety of type. You see, we got color. Yeah. We got a color control. We got a calendar control to pick the date. Wow. Nice. Then we got the number. You see, minimum number is 10, maximum is 15. And even user want, they can't type the characters. It's not allowed. Only numbers only allowed. Then email. You have to type a email like this. Good. Superb. So these are the variety of fields you can create, all thanks to w3cschools.com. Yeah, that is our set of input fields we have created. I would want to pause here. Are there any questions from your end on any of these tags? Any questions so far? I want to pause here for your questions. You can ask your questions on the line. Questions. Questions. questions?
So, sir, this is Ramya.
Yeah,
By using the file server in the back, so we don't need to depend on the internet connection, right?
you don't need to depend on.
Internet connection.
Yes. If you are using VS Code, then you don't need to depend on internet.
Okay.
But if you're using Bash tool, then internet is must.
Okay, sir. So,
Yes.
is the in the batch tool is the file server mandatory?
Sorry.
In the batch tool is the file server mandatory, sir?
Ma'am, your voice is very, very low. If you can please speak little louder, I can hear you better actually. Right now, I'm not
Hello,
able to
sir.
hear.
Is it audible?
Yes, now it is audible.
Sir, actually, in the batch tool is the file server mandatory?
Not mandatory, but to as a beginner, yeah, as a starter.
Okay.
If you are new people, new starting learning, yeah, it is good to have that because there are other ways to run HTML file, but those ways are complex. You have to make your own server. But Five Server is
Okay.
like a plugin which gives you a server out of the box. So without much knowledge on how to make a server or anything, you can quickly design and develop a web application. So that is a
Okay,
benefit
sir.
you get.
Okay.
Uh, yeah,
Anu,
can you go to explore, and I see there are a lot of folders. What are those folders?
Where?
Y- Yeah, what is this project folder? Where is this coming in
So
under
this
that?
is coming, it's a workspace. So what we did was when we come to Bash tool, we choose this
Hmm?
option on the home page called open folder. So we choose open folder. So a lot of folders were there actually there. These are the folders you are talking about.
Yeah,
They are the folders in that Amazon machine. Remember, I told you last class, if you were there in the last class, we are
yes,
actually
yeah.
connecting to the Amazon machine on the Google.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Yes, in the BTP. So these are the folders of that Amazon machine actually.
Okay.
Yes.
So we
We
have to
should
create
only
one
work.
folder here.
Yes. No, we should work with this projects folder always. So we switch to this folder and our project should be created under this projects folder always. That's a good practice.
Oh, okay.
Anubhav, I have a question.
Yeah.
So the HTML that we are learning from you, when we will actually work on the Fury, is this HTML is good enough to work on Fury, or do we need to
Yes.
learn more?
You
Okay.
need to just focus on what I'm covering. If you are interested to learn more, then you go to W3C. But whatever I am teaching is more than enough for Fury. Because when we go to Fury, we will not need depth knowledge on HTML. We will not need. Yes. Because we will use Fury controls. We will not use these tags. But for basic understanding, I am touching upon this basic HTML. But when we go to Fury, we will not use so depth knowledge on HTML. It's not required.
Sure.
So whatever I'm
Sounds
covering
good.
is more than enough. If you can practice that much, that's more than enough. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. Let's move on now. So next important thing, remember client server architecture. So you see, I can make a request from the client to the server. So what are the different ways we can make a request? It's an interview question also. What are the different ways to make a request from the client to the server? So there are mainly three ways to make a request. First is called form submit. Second is called HTTP request object. Third is called AJAX call. Yeah, these are the three ways to make a request to the server from the client. So first I will show you form submit today. Later on I will show you other ways. So what is form submit? It's basically a tag provided by HTML. So what you do is you will basically book everything inside a special block called form. So you do form element and you say action. In the action, you will specify the website where you want to send a request. So I want to send a request to anubhavtrainings.com. So I'll put my website and then I will put here this end tag. And now I will just grab everything and put it inside the form tag. So we got the form. Yeah, we got the form. But where is a submit? So let's add a submit also. So now I'll come back and put a BR tag and I put a input field, but please notice the type is a submit. There you go. There you go. So what we did just now, we create a input of type submit. Look at this. It created a button actually. Though it's an input, but it has gotcha the button. Look at that. So when you click the button, it will make a request to the server, and wherever it find the name property, it will pass these values in the request. So it will make a request from your client. You are running it in the browser. It will make a request to the server. Which server? The address is given here. anubhavtrainings.com is the server. Please make a request there with this name property. Yeah. So now I come back. I enter username. Let's say I put Spiderman, and I will put password as, let's say, Mary Jane. Yeah. So I click on submit. Watch out. It will make a request to my Anubhav Trainings website, and it will pass this data Spiderman and Mary Jane in the request. So I click, it's making a request, and look at on the top, you see username and password field. What names you have given, that with the values you have given. It's making a request to the server. This is how most websites send the request to the server to login. When you log in a server, this is how most of the websites, they will send the request. They will send the request. Most of the website, they will send the request like this. That is called the form submit. But the problem is the password is visible to everybody. Yeah, it's visible to everybody. So what we do is we change the request method to post. Yeah. Now password will be sent, but it will not be visible in the browser this time. In the browser this time. So let me show you. So this time what happens, if you enter again, I click submit, you see it is sending a post request now. It's posting the data to Anubhav Training. Now in my website, I am not allowed any post. You see, forbidden. Yeah. So the server is saying forbidden. Server is not allowing the post request, but at least the request was made to the server. And you see now the data is not visible in the on the top. But can I still see the data? Yes. Press F12 key on the keyboard. This is very important. F12. Let me come back. Explain F12. What is F12? So any browser, by the way, the recommended browser for this training is Chrome browser. The recommended browser for this training is Chrome browser. Chrome browser. So any browser, we can press F12 key. We can press F12 key on the keyboard to open browser developer toolbar, which has following section. The first section is called F12 key. You press, it opens. Usually it will open on the right side actually, like this. So you can click triple dot button to dock it at the bottom. Yeah, like this. And now you get first tab as elements. The elements tab, it will show the DOM to us. So you see the tree data structure. You see complete HTML DOM you can see. Yeah, complete DOM you can see. Wow, look at that. That's your DOM. So you can see complete HTML of the page. Now let me show you. Let's say I go to bbcnews.com. Any website. Every website have a DOM behind the scene. Yeah. Every website have a DOM. You see this is the bbcnews.com. It also have a DOM. You can press F12 key and you can see the DOM. Yeah, you can also right click and choose inspect, and here you can see the exact thing. So what I can say, Anubhav launch new SAP UI5 training batch. I change the DOM, enter. Oh, I am on homepage of bbcnews.com. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Now I can take a screenshot and send it to anybody and say, oh, see, I am on bbcnews.com. But it's fake. This is how people make fake news. They just change the DOM. Yeah, they just change the DOM. Yes. So this change is done in your DOM in your browser. If you refresh, it will reload the DOM, new DOM back again from server. It replaces back. Yeah. So big power comes with big responsibilities. I teaching you HTML secrets, ethical hacking. Yeah. But don't misuse. Yeah. Don't misuse. So that is the concept of DOM. You can right click, inspect, go there, and you can change the DOM on the fly in your browser. That is the element. You see the DOM of BBC News. This is the DOM. The tree data structure. Yeah. So the first tab is elements. You can right click, inspect that element. It will take you in the DOM. Where is that element? Yes, that's the DOM. That's the DOM. So that is the first tab, element tab. Next is called console tab. If there is any error on HTML page, console is your best friend. In fact, we will use this day and night when we learn UI5 Fiori. So console is where we can test our code, also see the errors on the page. If there is any error by chance on a page, we can see it in the console. Then we have the sources tab. There you can see the source code of your page. You see this complete page, what was loaded from the server. Its source code you can see. So in the sources tab, we can see the source code of our page. Yeah, what was loaded. And this will be helpful for future debugging. This is perhaps the most important tool we all will be using in our careers when it comes to Fiori development. Then last is network tab, very important. Yeah, network tab. I love this network tab. Network tab will demo or show you all the requests which are made from client. For example, later on when you build a Fiori app, you make a call to SAP server. You can see actually the request which it is making to SAP. Yeah, it is making to SAP, that you can see actually in the network tab. In the network tab you can see. Okay, so that is what we will see when it comes to these different tabs. Very good. So this is how exactly we design and develop and make our HTML content. Now if you see, I make a request now. So I go to network tab and now I do form submit. It will make a request. Yeah. So you see it make a request. It's a post request, and you can come down to see payload. You see this was the user ID, password sent in the background. It will never be visible to anybody, but in the network tab you can check. Yeah. In the network tab you can check. So you can see header, payload, and response. Yeah. Request and response. So this is your request. This is your response. You can see it in the network tab. You can see it in the network tab always. So guys, this tool, this browser developer toolbar, or these tools are very helpful. We will be working with these 4 tools day and night. Other tools we are not interested, but these 4 tools are most important tools. We will be working day and night when it comes to building our UI5 and Fiori applications. Very important. Okay, having said that, the next tag are called block level elements in HTML. What is block level elements? These elements do not have their own footprint on screen. Rather, they are used to structure our page. So they don't have their own footprint on the screen. Rather, they are used to create structure on the page. Structure on the page. So there are two elements in this list. One is called div tag. It's called division tag. Used to group multiple elements and always starts from new line automatically. Additionally, have a class property, so-called classification, to create a group name. So you're grouping multiple elements together and you give a classification property as a group name. The next is called span tag. It's called inline element. It aligns all the grouped elements in a straight line. In a single straight line, it will align all the elements together. That's called span tag. That's called span tag. So let us go ahead and see this in action now. So I'm going to come back and I will just go ahead and create a div. So what I'll do, you see this BR there. Yeah, we are creating BR to start this username from a new line. Yeah. So what I will do now, I will put these two elements, div, put them in a block. I remove this BR now. I again put a div because div always start from a new line. It always start from a new line. Yeah. So do you see how I am grouping my elements with a div tag? So I don't have to use the BR tag every time. Every div tag starts with a new line. It's called division tag. It is used to structure your page. Yeah. If you want to build a website with proper structuring, yeah, you create blocks, block 1, block 2, block 3. Then you can give a classification property additionally. Let's say this is credentials block. Yeah. So this is also family. So it's basically a family. So this username password field, they belong to one family called credentials, including this submit also. They are all one family. So it's called classification property. It has nothing to do with object oriented world. It's called classification property. Then similarly, I will also come and give classification property here. And I will say this is something like extra, I can say extra fields. So this is how you create a block level element, yeah, called div tag, for example, to put everything starting from a new line. You can structure your content beautifully with the help of block level elements in HTML. Superb, superb, nice. That's called block level element in HTML. So I guess this is good for today. We can close our session today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask before I close today's class. Kindly try this exercise after the session yourself in your Bash or VS Code tool, whichever you are using, you are comfortable, you can try there. Okay, any questions before we close today's class? HTML5 basics. Any question?
Hello, Anubhav.
Yeah.
This is Gajanan.
Yeah.
Actually, not regarding this HTML5, but yesterday regarding yesterday's class. As you said, I downloaded the Node.js and then downloaded the VS Code. And when I was giving the command in the command prompt that node space -g, it is giving that no element node is found. Is there any error which I am going through?
It may be giving you an error called npm was not recognized as an internal or external command, right?
Node, first error was node was not recognized.
Right.
First command we give is
Right.
node hyphen.
Because you have to, after installing Node.js, you have to restart your computer.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. Now, what is AJAX? AJAX stands for Asynchronous Java in XML. I will teach AJAX in the unit number 6. So I just give the full form, but I will teach you this in the unit number 6. Unit number 6. Please wait for 6 number unit. Next question.
I have created an index dot in the index.html.
Okay.
I'm not able to run it.
Please share your screen.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
No, your screen is, once again. No, sir, I cannot see your screen. Please share your screen.
Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay. Where is it? Sorry, I just
I can see your screen.
yeah. Okay, are you seeing my bus now?
No, I still see the presentation which you opened.
Okay, let me one second. A problem in you can only share this one screen, one menu. Okay.
I think you can share whole screen. Yeah, I
Okay,
can see
can you
your
see
bus
now?
now. Yes.
Okay. You see that I created one
Yeah.
index.html. I'm trying to run it.
Okay. No worries.
I can see
Yeah,
it's
click on
saying
open new tab. Yeah.
it's opening up like all this.
Yeah, click on the folder name, which is called webproj. And then you'll see it will launch the welcome to UI5.
Okay, the project.
Also, somebody's pointed out, you see your file name, index.html.
Oh, okay,
File
it's
name is
coming.
htm. Extension should be .html
Okay.
in your bash tool. Yes, that was a
Okay.
mistake. Yeah.
But even HTML also work, I think.
It should, but ideally you should keep it correct. Yeah, we never know. Yeah, something might go wrong. You can jump off a traffic signal, but we never know. Yeah, we never know. We should not.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but this is why do because VS when I try with the VS Code, it was opening that index it immediately, but here it is opening up all this folder. Why
Okay,
is it
press
showing like that?
F1 key on the keyboard, F1 key in the bash tool, and then type open folder.
Here.
And then select, and then only choose projects folder in the list.